Hey everybody, it's Mike from Here the Watchman, and welcome to today's edition, September 24th, of the Watchman's Report. We got a great guest lined up for you today, someone very special that I just met, and we are going to be seeing him in Orange County, California, November 5th through the 6th. We are going there. We are going to stand up and be bold for Jesus, and we want you to come. So go to hearthewatchmen.com. Get on board today, reserve your hotel room, get a ticket. Now listen, if for any reason that guy who runs California or any other bizarre government entity shuts us down on this, we'll still be there, but we will refund your ticket price and the hotel will release you from your reservations free of charge. If you go to the website, you will see all the speakers. You'll also see how to get a group rate at the hotel. We're going to have a great time, and we're going to stand up. We're going to do baptisms again this year. It's going to be phenomenal. Then also, don't forget, tomorrow, 2 o'clock Eastern time, we premiere Igniting the Fire, our virtual conference, with 17 speakers, 28 sessions, and 30 plus hours of content. You have 6 months of on-demand viewing. We host it on Vimeo, so you can watch it on your computer, your TV, Roku, Apple TV, Prime, whatever. You can see it. $39. That's it. 6 months. Again, 17 speakers and 30 hours of content, 39 bucks. Who else does that? Go to hearthewatchmen.com, click on the graphics of Igniting the Fire and get registered. Ticket sales cut off at 8 p.m. Eastern tomorrow night. So avail yourself of that and have fun. Okay, we're going to get right into it. Today on the show, we have with us Jason, and I love his last name, Dezember, like December, but with a Z. Jason, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Mike. Thank you.
Hey, it's exciting. I mean, you guys, you have a book that you came out with that you teamed up with JORDON, who I guess is overseas, and you'll talk about that. The name of the book is Piercing the Cosmic Veil. Jason, I know for sure, will be in Irvine, California, where they'll have his book there for you to buy. You can get an autographed copy of it. You can learn more than you'll learn today there. Jason, tell us a little bit about why you teamed up with Joe and what the book is all about.
Sure, Mike. So just kind of a brief synopsis of this whole situation that unfolded was I had a UFO encounter October 6, 2013. Changed my life forever. And for that preceding 3 years, I went through all kinds of stuff. It was kind of that night was the beginning of something that just manifested itself into a nightmare, from multiple sightings to, after that, the first one, to seeing beings through my video, through my phone, taking pictures, orbs. It kind of manifested itself over a couple year period, sleep paralysis, kind of the whole gamut. It kind of slowly manipulated itself into a situation where it just felt like I was being tortured. It was just it seemed like an attack on my mind. And it was probably the worst time of my life. It got to a point so bad that these things manifested themselves at the end of the experience in real time. And as I was sitting in my living room in Fullerton, California, these figures were lined up at the slider on my back door. They had finally manifested themselves into, like I said, into real time. And I thought I was going to die. I thought that they were going to come through the house and take me. I didn't know what the next steps were going to be at that point. I was sure that it was going to be my last night breathing air on planet Earth. And I ended up at the very last moment just crying out to Jesus Christ and asking him to help me. He appeared in my kitchen for a moment, and I looked over to see if those beings were at my back door, and they were gone. The sightings, the horrible experiences I was having, the dreams. I had been, a couple months prior to this experience, I had been found in my truck. There was about 5 hours of missing time. And my girlfriend found me out there at the time, and I was filming a ship prior to her finding me. I had some markings on my body. It felt like I'd been beat up by 7 or 8 guys. I had puncture wounds on me. I had scoop marks on me. And I went and saw a world-renowned hypnotherapist, Yvonne Smith. They videotaped my testimony. She asked me if I wanted to do the hypnosis, the regression. At the time, I decided that that wouldn't be the best for me. I didn't really want to know any more than had already happened over that 2 or 3 year period. So at that time, the night that Jesus showed up in my kitchen, and these things left and never came back again, I got on my knees and I ended up turning on the television the next morning, and came across a video from Joseph Jordan. It was in the late 90s. I think he was speaking and doing his testimony at a symposium in New Mexico at the time. And he was talking about alien abduction experiences and how he had been in the field for over 20 years doing research, and how he had these testimonies of people coming in that they were able to relieve these or eliminate these experiences from happening to them by crying out in the name of Jesus, by the authority of Jesus Christ. And it was something that I had been looking for. I had gone down all the rabbit holes through MUFON, through the US American UFO search. I was going down these things had taken me down a rabbit hole, because when you experience these ships and you experience something like that, you end up starting to obsess and try to figure out what really is happening. And it took my mind away from Christ, who I was starting to have a relationship with again at the time. And it pulled me away, and I just started going down every rabbit hole, from hybrids to this to that. And I wasn't able to find any help for that 2.5, 3 year period. It was kind of like a courting process where they were allowing me to see more things, more experiences were happening. And as much as I hated it, I felt like I was obsessed with it. And I was as far away from looking into this as a spiritual situation rather than a manifestation of, or something extraterrestrial that was coming here, and I needed to figure out what it was. Nevertheless, Joe's video changed my life. I think God used that video. It blew me away. I went to CE4 Research, which is our research group, which is our ministry. You can find online. I printed out the 8 R's to Freedom, which your listeners can go there and take a look at it. My girlfriend at the time printed those out and posted them all over the apartment. And I got back into the Word of God. I rededicated my life to Christ. And I have not had an experience since May of 2016. So things have been great. I tried to get a hold of Joe for 2 or 3 years, and I just couldn't track him down. I don't know what was going on. And this was earlier this year, maybe in February or March, I was going through YouTube, and he was being interviewed. I forgot who was interviewing him. Nevertheless, he left some contact information. I ended up emailing him, giving him my contact information, and within 5 minutes of me sending the email, he called me back. We chatted for 2.5 hours. I went through my complete testimony with him, and he said, listen, I don't know if I'm going to be coming back to the States. I'm working for a military contractor right now, and it's a pretty long contract, and I just don't think I'm going to make it back. And I'm looking to retire soon, and I need a representative in the States for the ministry, as well as I'm finishing up a book right now, and I'd actually like you to be a part of it, and me include the testimony and some other things to just kind of help me wrap it up. So nevertheless, I said, hey, I just called you to tell you thank you, and that your testimony had a huge impact on changing my life, and I don't really know if I want to get into all this. Maybe you should pray about it. And he said, it's already done. So here we are. I think we started working on this April this year, and we ended up it being published on July 2020, and it's called Piercing the Cosmic Veil. Joe just did a interview with one of your speakers, Derek Gilbert, about a week ago, I believe, who's going to be speaking here at the Watchmen in November. And so this is just kind of the synergy's just been happening. We've been doing a lot of interviews, Joe and I. We have a new partner, Lee. She's in Australia. She'll be representing TE4 research in Australia. And I just want to be a part of this so that I can give people my testimony. I can let them know how I was able to cancel these experiences from happening, and that there is a solution, and that the worldview of this realm of this abduction isn't exactly, I think, what people think it is or what the worldview wants it to be. We really believe that it's a spiritual encounter, and we get into depth about that. Joe has over 400 testimonies that back up our research, as well as we have 60 new testimonies in the book that have never been released, and we have them coming in on a weekly basis. So I just want to be used by God. I feel like I spent a lot of my life not following him, and at 48 years old, this is an opportunity for me to give back and to help people that may be looking for a solution, because there were points during that 2-3 years where I was contemplating suicide. No one would help me. No one would help me. It was like just being in a void. No one, and these are things that you can't really talk to a lot of people about as well, obviously. So to have something that people can actually get that can help them, I think is a great thing. And I'm just blessed to be a part of it. And I'm just grateful that I got to meet you and Jeannie, and hopefully have an opportunity to speak with people at the conference, offer this book if they can maybe need it for themselves or somebody else. But especially where we are at in this hour, I think we're, obviously at the beginning of suffering here. And I think this is a critical component of what's missing in the church as well, because I don't think they're addressing things like this. And so Joe and I want to just get this out to as many people as we can, to offer help through a solution that we found that's foolproof, because we've got the research and the testimonies to back up what's happened to me and what's happened to other people that are involved with this. So.
Wow, brother. I mean, what an incredible journey. What an incredible book. I mean, how do people find the book today?
You can go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble. You can go to our website. It's piercingthecosmicveil.com. There's a homepage, a blog page. So if you have testimonies or you're going through something, you'd like to leave your email, you'd like us to talk with you or pray with you or just listen to you. Sometimes people just want to be able to speak with people who will listen to them and believe them. And that's what we offer. You can also go to our ministry page is ce4researchgroup.com. You can also go there through alienresistance.org, but if you type in CE4 Research Group, it'll take you to the website, which gives you a lot of great information there as well.
Amazing. Now let me ask you this, Jason. So you're going through all this, and believe me, I know what it's like to be called a nut. I really, I happen to have witnessed the Phoenix Lights. And when I would tell people about that and actually witnessing it, even though there was plenty of evidence that it was real,
sure,
including the governor of Arizona saying that it was real, that people thought I was a nutcase until I met L.A. Marzulli and talked with him about it. It's a real phenomenon out there that we're not sure whether it's alien, whether it's supernatural, what exactly it is. It's beyond our scope. But when you went through this, were you a believer during the time you were going through this, or did you become a believer after?
That's a great question, Mike. So I actually went to Calvary Chapel Christian Academy, kindergarten through 4th grade. I think I asked the Lord into my life. I was probably, 9 or 10, and I took it seriously. However, shortly after I had done that, there was an issue in the church. Something happened horrifically to my mom by one of the members at this church. And as a child and looking at things through a child's eyes, it really hurt me deeply, and I ran away from God and Jesus and from the church as fast as I could after that had happened. So to answer your question, Yes, but then I went away. I was in rock bands for probably 15, 20 years. I went I just searched for the darkness. I had really had a bad experience with the church. Um, I had gone through a couple horrible marriages. And when this all had happened, I was actually a year and a half alone. My ex-wife had taken my kids up north. They were young. I had lost my home, my car. I'd lost everything. And I was really in a vulnerable state. And that's really when all these things started happening. And I think that's, in looking back in retrospect, I believe the enemy really had an opportunity to jump on me at that time, because I was really void of I was living in despair. I was full of anger and unforgiveness. And in the word, it does state that, you know, when you have unforgiveness in your life, it will open yourself up to spiritual attack. So yes, but walking away from him, I believe in looking back that the Lord needed me to go through this experience so that I could truly find him. And in this happening, I was able to find him again, and actually find him in a way where I understood him like I never understood him before, and I fell in love with him, and I fell in love with his principles, and I looked at the Bible as a historical book and a love letter and a cosmic war, not just a bunch of stories that were fed to me in school that I really couldn't track, because they give you a lot of milk when you're young. And I think it takes some people, knuckleheads like me, to have an experience like that where the Lord can bring me back. So hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, you did. I mean, very, very interesting journey. I mean, you know, some of us have had some interesting journeys. I mean, I went to the dark side for sure before I was saved. In jail, laundered money for a prominent motorcycle gang, crazy stuff, and then saved in jail by Jesus. So, I mean, we go down these paths and we have these experiences. Now, today, you've sort of turned this whole thing around. What's it feel like as you look back on this now, as your journey? What's it feel like to sit back and think like, wow, how did this happen?
This is a great question. I looking back, it took a few years after everything stopped. I felt I've got to say I probably have some PTSD issues. I've got some had trouble sleeping. I think the whole experience itself damaged me to some degree. But through the last 4 years, what God's done in my life is he's given me hope. He's given me purpose where I didn't really feel like I had purpose before. He eliminated a lot of things that I hadn't dealt with as a child, but because of his promises and because of what he did for me, I was open and willing to give my life to him in a real way. And I just can't believe that this is happening for this. Just feel like looking back in the 4 years of this last 4 years and walking with Christ, with me and my wife, and just spiritually growing together in the word and understanding him. It's been, it's been a wild ride. Like I said, I didn't, you know, I look at things completely different now, and it's really opened up my mind to really what history is about and what our existence is about. And it's really not that complicated. I think the world takes us and puts all these ideas and deceptions in front of us. And I think that a lot of us go down these rabbit holes and are never able to come out of them. And like I said, I wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy. But I do believe that there's things that need to happen in your life, whether they're dark or whether maybe they could be great. Maybe they could be wonderful things like just light and love and, you know, good encounters. Maybe God uses some people like that, or uses things like that in some people's lives. I think we're all made fearfully and what does he say? Fearfully and uniquely made. He knows us before we were created in our mother's womb, and he knows exactly what his plans are for us. And I'm just thankful that I was given that opportunity in retrospect. To as bad as it was, I know now that I needed it to happen. I needed to be put against my back against the wall into a situation where you're going to either follow the world or you're going to follow him. And, you know, when he shows up in your kitchen while these entities have that have been plaguing you for 2 years show up, and you know, you've got Jesus standing in your kitchen, and it's real, and whether it's a vision or whatever anybody wants to say it was, it happened. But the moment that happened, the moment that I cried out to him, my life has changed. And it can change for people that are out there. I think that I had a lot of despair comes into your life when you're experiencing these things, and you can't tell a spouse, you can't tell a loved one, and you don't know how to deal with it, and you don't have any grounding, and you go on the web, or you go on a YouTube, or you go to different places, because the world's going to give you, and the enemy's going to give you all these trails to go down, all these carrots to chase. But at the end of the day, what they're doing is they're taking you away from the real solution. And again, I'm just thankful that that solution found me and gave me another opportunity. He was very patient with me through all those years that I was walking with the enemy. And I just, it's kind of a surreal situation to be in right now, to be honest with you, to work with Joe, because I love that man, and he's so knowledgeable, and he does his research. He's been doing this for over 20 years. He is well respected with MUFON. He's well respected in the field that he works in. He's my mentor, which I was searching for a mentor, and just God just gave me everything that I was missing, and I just feel fulfilled. Sometimes it's overwhelming. Sometimes I get a little nervous when I do interviews now, and people are reaching out to us, and we're doing all these different things, but I just kind of jump in, and I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I'm here. I'm an open book. I just want to let people know my experience and let them know that there's help, and I'm here to do anything I can to pray with them or to listen to them. And hopefully this book can be a tool that people can use in their lives.
Wow. Shut the front door, man. That was off the hook. Crazy great, brother. I mean, it's inspiring to hear your story and to learn about your journey. I'm looking forward to learning more, folks. The book, Piercing the Cosmic Veil, Jason Dezember and Joe Jordan. Go to Amazon, Barnes and Noble. You can find it out there. Just Google these guys.
It's everywhere.
You'll find it. Get a copy. Come out to Hear the Watchmen, Orange County, California, November 5th through the 8th. Meet them in person, talk with them, share your stories, because I just want to let you know, they don't wear tinfoil hats, and neither do I. We're there to talk to you guys and share our experience, our strength, and our hope in Jesus with you, and as you go down your journey. So, Jason, I really want to thank you for taking time out of your day today to join us.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Well, listen, folks, that's going to wrap it up for today's edition of the Watchman's Report. Don't forget, go to hearthewatchmen.com, get signed up for Igniting the Fire. You have until 8 o'clock Eastern tomorrow night to get a ticket. Don't want to miss it. Again, where else can you get 17 speakers and 30 plus hours of content for 6 months for only $39? Go there, avail yourself of what's happening. And don't forget, as we always say here on the Watchman's Report, there's absolutely nothing you can't do with Jesus in your heart, except nothing at all. Get out there, get busy, activate your faith, and we'll see you in Orange County, California. God bless.
Amen.